Jesus came and died for us so that we could stand over here with the sheep. But just because he died for us doesn't mean we're automatically put in this pen. That we automatically have a resurrected life. We have to make a choice. We have to actively seek out God. Excuse me. In Ecclesiastes 12, 10 through 14. Ecclesiastes 12, 10 through 14 says, the preacher sought to find delightful words and to write the words of truth correctly. The words of wise men are like goads and masters. All of these collections are like well-driven nails. They are given by one shepherd. Beyond this, my son, be warned. The writing of many books is endless, and excessive devotion to books is wearying on the body. The conclusion, when all has been heard, the conclusion is, fear God and keep his commandments, because this applies to every person. For God will bring every act to judgment, everything which is hidden, whether good or evil. Solomon was warning his children, in particular here his son, that man can come up with some pretty good things and some pretty wise sayings and teachings. But in the end, it's the Word of God that matters. We don't like being told how to do something or what to do. I don't know anybody out there who likes being directed on how to live their life. We have this thing, it's my life, I should get to live it the way I want to. In America, we take it one step further. I'm an American. I've got freedom. My freedom is to live my life the way I want to. Yeah, well, if that freedom interferes with God's will and is disobedient to it, watch out. Because we do have certain natural laws that were given to us by God of how we are to behave. Some of them are numbered out for us in the Ten Commandments. We're not supposed to covet each other. We're not supposed to kill, cheat, steal, adultery. We're not supposed to do any of those things. Some of us are the rules between us and God. He is our only God. We worship him and nothing else. And we don't take his name in vain. But when we're told how to do something, and we go about it and we just do it however we want, then we turn around and end up having to do it a different way. Happens all the time. If I had a nickel for every time I did something opposite of what my mother told me to do, I'd be rich. If I had a nickel for every time I told my kids to do something and they refused to do it the way I told them to do it, I'd be a billionaire. But it's always humbling when you do something and then you got to redo it. You find out, oh, yeah, if I just done it this way the first time, I wouldn't have wasted 2 days of my life. Or I wouldn't have wasted this extra 2 hours having to rewash dishes because they're dirty because I didn't use hot water. And it brings me back to God's basic instructions before leaving earth, or the Bible. He has given us everything we need to live a blessed life in those 66 chapters. Everything to have whatever we need if we follow the instructions in that book. Of course, the key to that phrase is the word need, not want. There's a big difference between our wants and our needs. And He wants us to have our wants, but He's going to secure and guarantee our needs, no matter what. And we can guarantee this if we follow what Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes 12:13. Fear God and obey His commands, for this is everybody's duty. Our job, first and foremost, is to have a reverent fear, not be afraid of God. Although that doesn't hurt sometimes, to be afraid of what might happen if I screw up and don't follow Him or I'm disobedient to Him. We can point to Sodom and Gomorrah as a case for that. They weren't following. In their defense, they didn't know. But still, they weren't following common sense rules of nature to be nice to each other. But we should have a respectful fear. Respect the position that God is in as creator, as leader, as father. That we should want to follow His direction. When you don't follow your parents' direction and you get in trouble, you disrespected your parents. You've shown them that they don't matter to you. Well, how does that make you feel when you get called on the carpet for it? Not usually very good. So, it's the same thing with God. We should treat Him with the utmost respect because He's deserving of it. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for Him. No more than you would be here if your parents hadn't gotten together. More so because your parents wouldn't be here if it weren't for Him.